mental skills training or mental performance training gets labeled different ways. I myself was never exposed to any of it when I played. Really wish I had been. Would have saved me a lot of stressful times. Would have allowed me to kind of be a little bit more where my feet were at certain times as well. The first time I really was exposed to it was when I was working in professional baseball. I had no idea that it was a piece of the game, and we had a few staff members that consistently checked in with and worked with anyone from an 18-year-old kid who had just signed out of high school to major league players who've been playing for over 10 years. It is something that everybody could absolutely benefit from. It might sound weird or different, or, it's a lot easier to say I'm going to hit with my hitting coach or pitch with my pitching coach. But honestly, a lot of the stuff that we do on the skill side wouldn't be possible without the athlete being in a good headspace. I think Andrew talked about getting to flow state quickly. The athletes that are best in competition are the athletes that can do that. And it's not something that you can just tell yourself you want to do. It's a skill, just like hitting, just like pitching. It's a consistent thing that you need to be process-driven on, just like strength training. So, without further ado, I'll let Devon talk about what she talks about, and I'll fade into the distance.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Devon. Can you all hear me? Okay, awesome. All right, so I'm with Brandon with hating public speaking, and so this is kind of like a practice what I preach thing of that it's something that I definitely want to get better with, and this is the perfect space to do it because Logan and Carson have really helped me not only develop as a person as well, but I see it daily with the kids that they help, and so I think it's a really great place just for personal development as well. So we'll get into this. So a little bit about me. I would say my first competitive experiences were with competitive horseback riding. I did Western dressage. I played basketball and field hockey throughout middle school and high school. And then I shifted into the bodybuilding world, and in 2016 I won my pro card with that. And that's kind of where I realized where mental skills were so important for me. I realized that during my horseback riding competitions and basketball and all of those things, I was showing some signs of performance anxiety and comparing myself to others. And bodybuilding, you're on a stage, you're by yourself, the lights are on you, like every day matters. What you do, what you train, what you eat. It was something that was extremely a mental process for me. And I ended up winning my first show, and that's something I think happened because I did implement mental skills that I didn't know when I played basketball, I played field hockey. So it's really something that I believe in. So I got my bachelor's degree in psychology, and I was trying to figure out where to go from there. And I love sports. I started learning more about sports psychology, and I decided that that was the path I wanted to go through. So I got my master's in sports psychology. After that, I interned with the Cape Cod Baseball League with the Orleans Firebirds, and it was an amazing experience. I really got to see the inside of the collegiate baseball world, and I also got to see that these high-performing athletes were still dealing with comparing themselves to others. They're looking at social media, they're looking at everyone's data, who's better than who's getting drafted. And I got to talk to a lot of these players about that and different ways that they can get through those times and adversity. So I'm the Director of Mental Performance for the Upper Valley Nighthawks in the NECBL, and so it will be my first summer with that team, and I'm super excited to get going on that experience. So what is mental performance training? Mental performance training uses evidence-based psychological approaches and frameworks to optimize individual and/or team performance factors. So some of these performance factors are confidence, productive thinking, managing emotions, managing failure, resiliency, managing stress and anxiety, and dedication, motivation. So what I do is I help the athletes develop those skills. And a way to develop these skills, you can go through visualization, communication skills, pre and post game routines and habits, mindset and attitude, mindfulness and meditation, focus and attention, and body language. So a youth athlete that I worked with a few years ago, he had a situation where when he would strike out, his thoughts automatically went negatively, and he would think, I'm a failure. So that thought process to him created a reaction of frustration and anger. So then that reaction also created a behavior where he wanted to avoid his teammates, he didn't talk to anyone in the dugout, and his body language was just off for anyone. And he was the type of athlete that usually motivated his fellow teammates. And so when that happened, you really saw a shift in the whole entire team. He also had a physiological response of an increased heart rate, and that also impacted his performance for the rest of the game. So performance is largely mental. We consistently train our body for competition, but we don't always train our mind. So competence in physical skills and mental skills increases confidence and ability to perform. So it's important not only to focus on the physical skills, but you do need those mental skills, because when adversity does strike, you need to be confident in yourself that you know how to overcome that. So as Carson has said, failure is inevitable. There's always going to be setbacks, whether that's sports or life or anything. So by implementing these skills from a young age, you can get ahead of the curve. It's a competitive edge. And that was my last slide.